he talks about, he's like, I made zero money.
Yeah.
Zero money.
Yeah.
And it's like, I hear stuff like that and it saddens me. Stuff like the Yeezy STEM player and stuff like that is kind of touching on these issues where it's like, why as artists are we being given the short end of the stick when we're holding the entire industry?
All right, what's good, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the DMTV interviews. Today I got an incredible artist by the name of Sunny Addams. He's definitely one of the best coming out the city, and it's been an interview that I feel like I've been wanting to do for a few months now. So I guess first thing to start off with is just introduce yourself, let everyone know who you are, and just give us a little backstory.
Yeah, for sure. I'm Sunny Addams, artist based out of Pickering, Ontario. Been making music now for about a year and a half, and I don't know what else.
So I mean, okay, so you've been grinding, you've been doing your thing. I know that. You also mentioned that you're finishing up school, right? So like you're still in school at the moment, and that like you're about to finish things, so you can kind of start grinding music like full time and really taking it to a whole nother level. Because I feel like even though you're in school, you've been doing very good quality music guys so far, and I can just imagine how far you'll go, when you got the time.
Yeah, literally. Since like my last drop, which is like December 31st or whatever, I've been kind of on the wave of like slowing down from music. Looking back now, I realize like how much I did in such a short amount of time. Yeah. Which I'm really, really proud of. But like, again, you don't want to get burnout. And so like I've slowed down the creative process just a bit since then. But also like changed it a little bit. So like I've been, like something I used to do before I even started making music was like write poems. I started writing poems.
Oh shit, that's sick.
And stuff like that.
I can kind of tell if you're kind of lyrically inclined in a way where like you really talk about some. I think just you and like a few other artists like Remsen are like guys are like really got the lyrical side down, but you also have a unique cadence to go with it, which it's a crazy package that like is super unique.
Yeah, absolutely. I take a lot of pride in that, and like
you should.
I mean, it's funny because me and him were talking about it too, because we're talking about like, in this day and age, like what kind of really matters honestly is like the sound and the sonics. The
sound these days,
what you're doing. So what you kind of say in the song is honestly for you, like for you the artist. And like. So it's like I love that. Like I love challenging myself and like being like, okay, I have this cadence or whatever. How can I put this together in this way? I'm always just trying to do stuff on a song that just like doesn't sound like anything that I've heard
because you want to stand out, and then also I mean just pull some strings of your own. I'm like, yo, this is like difficult, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Right, and it's because it's like I don't know, bro. Like especially the way I approach rap, because I feel like the way I approch rap and the way I approach like writing like
it's
singing
different,
songs is different. The way I approach rap is like, this shit can't be boring, bro. Like there's a flow. Sometimes when I hear music, I'm like, okay, there's a flow here that like people might expect people to go on, and it's like, okay, I see that, I hear that, but what is the way that I can do this uniquely and like find the pocket that people aren't hearing, find the flow and that people don't recognize on the main line. That's the most fun part about rapping.
I fuck with that. Yeah. I mean, just in general, I think just. Also, just kind of going back on the unique aspect, I feel like this whole like you have definitely been one of those artists that I think has had your kind of your own wave of like of your like your own sound, and that's kind of the one thing I love about our scene so much, and why I keep fucking like bragging to everyone about it. I'm like, yo, it's just all the artists in this, you included. It's just you like there's some like like there's some inspiration from here, just like me, just like anybody else. But already so early on in our careers, we're already establishing ourselves as being different. Like, we're not using the route of like copying somebody else to make it and then start being unique. We're already unique off the top, like from the start.
It's true.
And it's something that I think immediately sets us apart, which is
it's true. Like the scene is just so different than like every other scene, but then it's also the people are different in the scene from each other. Like one person doesn't really make the kind of music that another person makes, and I think even, especially for myself, like I'm a niche, and like that used to kind of scare me, because it's like, okay, are people gonna listen to your music if it's not like this?
Yeah, that's true.
But I've kind of leaned into it more and been like, okay, it's a niche, and like people still like it.
That's the one part where I think like it's a weird topic though, because like you think like, oh, doing music that's broad is good, but at the same time being niche is a lot easier to build a fan base in a niche, because then
yeah.
the people that fuck with it really fuck with it.
Yeah.
The people that don't fuck with it, they don't fuck with it. Who cares?
Right.
But if you do generalized music, you're gonna be that motherfucker that just has like, I don't know, 20 million listeners, but it's like they're there 1 year and then the other year they're gone. Not. But with your niche sound, you could be dropping like, I think like the perfect example, like Playboi Carti, right? He drops like rarely, but he's so niche that the people that love him to absolute death, and people that hate him, they hate him, but who cares who hates him? Yeah. People that love him are there regardless.
Right.
And that's what's amazing. I think that's what you kind of are building. That's what a lot of people are in the scene are building, where it's like, even the guys like that I can name drop, like Quasi, Pino, Esso, like even these guys who have a little bit more, like, I guess, mainstream sounding music, even they have their own kind of unique spin on it.
Of course.
But you are someone who's got that unique sound that I think you are going to be one of those guys that I feel like you shouldn't even look for that crazy broad audience. I think you should really first off like nurture and grow that diehard, devoted fan base that's just there in and out regardless of what you drop. And I think that's what's important to grow right now.
Absolutely. Having that patience sometimes is difficult, but like when I talk to people and like I'm like, how do you feel about this, and it's like they see what I'm doing and they appreciate it, and this is all stuff that like is coming from my own mind. Like I don't really have a team per se. Like a lot of these ideas are coming from like just me in my head at home, just thinking about these things, and it's like then it's executed well, and I'm like, okay, this is it, you know what I mean? And the thing about like the niche sound thing was like, I feel like some people might look at my songs, my music, and think like, oh, like, wow, he's really good. Like, for a person that doesn't have that many songs out,
exactly,
they would think, oh, he's really, really good. But it's like the journey for me becoming a musician was so long and tedious.
I could tell,
and it was like this. It was just like a bunch of false starts. It was like this bunch of moments in my life where I'm like, okay, there's a point in time where I'm like, okay, I know I want to do this, but it's like, am I gonna do this?
Yeah. I know those.
Like, life gets in the way, and whatever you start to doubt yourself and all these kind of things, and it's like, they say it's like 10,000 hours to like master something.
Yeah. And
it's like, I have put like, I wouldn't say all of my 10,000 hours, but at least half my 10,000 hours before I ever even put out a song, because I would just write in my bedroom to tracks on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, things like that, to remixes to songs that I like. That's I would sick. Write poems, like whatever. But it's just like this stuff never really touched outside because I was like too insecure about it, and I was too like, okay, people are not gonna like it, people are not gonna fuck with it. It doesn't sound like this. It doesn't sound like this person that I admire, and whatever. And
I see that.
And it took a place in my life where I had to grow as a person to be
figure
like,
yourself out.
Yeah, to figure myself out, to be like, okay, nah, fuck this, put it out. If they don't like it, they don't like it. Who cares?
Which is the type of attitude you should have with honestly anything. But I definitely agree with you on that whole thing of like being scared to put shit out, because you saying you did 5,000 hours or like around there before you dropped anything. For me it was like YouTube and shit, and like I did music before too, like with drumming, with instrumentals and stuff. It's like a lot of that stuff was just the building blocks to where I am now. So I feel like even though I wouldn't say I have 10,000 hours in editing, because there's so many different areas that I'm building the 10,000 hours in. But as a creative, it's probably been already over 10,000 hours. Yeah. As a creative as a whole, from including drumming, from when I started at 12, 5 hours a day for 5 years straight, then did YouTube for 2 years. Basically every week I did tutorials and shit for 2 years of vlogs. That's already 7 years right there of creating. And then you add the last 2 years of this, which was even more work than I did on those two.
Exactly.
Probably been 10,000 hours of creative. And that's why I think I'm so I don't give a fuck type of attitude now. I'm confident of who I am, what I'm doing. And I think I could see that now where like every time you release a song, the confidence, you can hear it in your voice.
Exactly.
Which is something that if it was your fifth song, you're like, what the fuck? There's no way that this guy's this confident, this good. But it's like they don't see the shit behind though.
They don't, man. It's been so long. And speaking on like the confidence thing too, I think a point in my like career, I used to be really attached to certain things that I would write, because I would feel like I'm never gonna write anything like this again. Like I'm never gonna do anything as good as this again. And like Esso, my like a close collaborator of mine, gave me some of the best advice I've ever gotten in music, which is like, you can just make another one. Yeah. And it's like,
it's so simple, but
it's so simple, but like,
it's crazy.
Once I realized that, I'm like, you can just make another one. And it's just make another one. If the song doesn't work, just make another one. If the verse doesn't work, just make another one. If the chorus don't work, if the video doesn't work, if the concept doesn't work, just make another one. Literally. Because at the end of the day, that's what you are. You're creative. You're a person with ideas. And once you get trust in your ability to create ideas, you're unstoppable.
Because I think the idea part is where the creative aspect is. It's not the execution, because the execution, a lot of it is calculated.
Right.
It's more technical than it really is creative. Is the ideas we have is where the creative. So it's like, if the execution of the idea is trash, that doesn't mean you're not a good creative, because the idea is there. You made that insane idea. Yeah. That's what the creative is. Now executing it, of course, parts of it's creative, but there's some technical things that might not work. Because the same thing happens with me. Like, last few days I've been focusing on preparing shows and stuff. It's like I can't, like, I was trying to think of treatment ideas for videos that I just couldn't think of it. I'm like, what the fuck? My mind's just not in the right place. And it's like, doesn't mean I can't make a treatment. It's just not the right moment in time.
Exactly.
So that's where the whole break aspect comes into play too. So taking not like huge breaks, instead do small but frequent breaks. And that's what I do every day when I work. Every like little bit I take breaks. So it's like I don't really need to take vacations ever, because I'm giving myself enough enjoyment. Like, after a long day, I just put on a fucking movie, or I go take a break, or I go out, or I just take a break on one day where I don't do as much work, and I enjoy myself more than I actually get work done.
Right.
But then the next day I'm actually getting a lot of work done now, because I gave myself that break. So in reality, in reality I gave myself one day off, technically, I probably did more in that 3 days than if I just grinded out all 3 days without taking a break. And then now I'm burnt out for the next few days.
Yeah, you don't want to rest without resting.
Yeah.
Like doing like there's a difference between doing nothing and resting.
Yeah. Oh, right? Exactly.
And it's like you don't want to just do nothing and then be worried about the stuff that you're not doing.
Yeah.
You just rest.
Just rest. Yeah, just rest.
And like rest can look like anything, like you said. Like it could look like popping on a movie, whatever it is. I think something that's really, really cool to me, that's kind of been revealed to me in life, in the past couple of months, is there's a quote by Miles Davis which says, "You should never be a better artist than you are a person." And I used to think that I was perfectly fine as a person, like a good person, whatever. And realizing that there's these things in my life that I'm lacking in and that I'm not as good as, and then going on this kind of spiritual journey to improve those things has made my work as an artist better. Stuff just flows out more, and it's like,
I can relate with that so heavy. I think everyone should be able to relate with that, when it comes to just trying to improve yourself. And
I think that's super, super important. And like, there's a beautiful thing like about being in like an artist or a creative, and then just being able to like just live life, because I feel like so much of
separating it.
So much of like the kind of sensationalized viewpoint of our careers is just like how much we're doing, but it's like just living life. I hear like Tyler Creator talk about this a lot. Like he's like, I'm really outside. Like he's just
really good at that stuff.
He just lives life. You know what I mean? It's
genuinely lives it. Enjoys it.
Exactly. And if you live life, it's easier to create, because it's like you're living life. Your inspiration is there all throughout everything that you see. You know what I mean? And so I've been living like the past couple of months, like really living, and
which
like
is good. So nice.
That I haven't.
Because it's also for you. I think for you as an artist, it's more important to have moments of living, because that's because because now you've had a few months where you didn't do music. Now you have so much to talk about.
Literally,
so much content.
I'm like,
you're excited to showcase that. I think for someone like me, I've always had the problem of separating that with, like, I've never really been too crazy social on that end. I've been more social because the business aspect of what I do is important, to meet people and stuff like that. I want it now, but I'm really, I've just always had that feeling of like business, like I'm mixing life with what I'm doing, because this is life.
This is life.
This is to me, my brand is my life, basically. It's like, I don't know. It's a good and a bad thing. Good thing because I'm getting so much work done and so much progression done, and I'm still happy. I'm happier. I think I'm happier doing it that way. But then there's some people that are like, they're forcing themselves to making their career their lives when they're just not that type of person.
Right. I agree with that too.
So there's so for me, I feel like I'm someone that's from day one, from school time. Since school, I've never really been the guy who's been party animal, that stuff. Like I need to live that, and then I have a separate business life.
Yeah.
Like for me, I've just ever since the beginning, I can comfortably mix business and life because business is my life.
Yeah.
But then there's people, you know, where that's not the case for them. So you just gotta find what's better for you. So I don't think it's everybody has like, you know, finding a life doesn't mean you have to just go fucking do regular people shit. Like, you know, if you enjoy, like, if business, like, if creating that clothing design is your way of, like, chilling, like, that, then, like, do that. Yeah. But then if you're someone who creatively, or you're exhausted and you need to take a break where you gotta do, you know, like, hang out with guys and girls, just chill, relax, like, that's what you have, do whatever you need to do to be able to reset yourself and to continue.
Exactly.
Because everyone's different.
Exactly. It's not, some people are 9 to 5, some people are Mondays to Mondays, you know?
Exactly.
And it's like, that's cool to me. I saw like a article or something that Eminem said that he goes to the studio from 9 to 5, which I think is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, which is I think I saw that.
He's like 5 o'clock, catch me tomorrow. Sorry about that.
Even
and
if
I guess that makes sense.
Imagine if he like this 100% happened. Like he's in the middle of making a song and his head is like literally he's at a point where like his ideas are flowing.
Yeah.
It's 5 o'clock. Fuck my ideas. I'm out. Imagine that.
I don't know if it's like that per se, but like I just thought that was funny, and it's like that might work for him. And I think especially when you look at Eminem's catalog and this, I mean the man is like used the most unique word choices in all of rap. I can see why it's just like 5 o'clock, shut it off. But for some people that doesn't work. For some people it's like I need to do this for it's 3 hours, take a break.
It's 24/7 type of thing. Like it's like I live in a way of like I'm on call 24/7. There is no. Like, if I'm out with family, I might, like, on dinner, like, oh, fuck, I have to go post this shit quickly. Like, there's no moment you can kind of have break, and I think it's because we're also at the beginning of our stage.
That's true,
But guys
too.
like Eminem, the reason he does a 9 to 5 thing is because he has family. He's got kids.
His family, And he's earned it. He's earned it, too.
Exactly. No, of course, So I think he's at a different level now where it's like, yo... Because I think if he did that whole 9 to 5 thing, he wouldn't be where he is today. Yeah,
he wouldn't. Like, I mean, when he was in 8 Mile days, he was not.
Bro, he was like crazy, bro. He was crazy those days.
He got his chance to, and I think the real goal for me as like an artist is to earn my leisure. And just earn a part of my life that it's like I can just take a break, because it's like right now it's like you're right. Right now it's like I gotta think about every single day and think about
everything.
Every single day. What's the next move? Like
what's the next move? What's the next plan?
What am I gonna do?
Yeah. To keep yourself pushing.
Exactly. And it's like, but one day I would love to be able to earn that like leisure.
Yeah, where you just where like I can drop 5 years from now and people are still gonna care.
Yeah. You know? I think that like that's, I mean like. You really gotta be incredible for that. Only a couple artists, the Playboi Cartis, the Frank Oceans, Kendricks can really do that. Yeah, but it's like, I
don't know. It's possible to get to that point. I think it's more of just like maybe the way you record.
Exactly.
Is that like you don't really record every single day, like you know, like when you're at the peak of your prime, when you're at the point of like it's later in your career.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think for most people who are not like, the goal is always to be that Playboi Carti guy, you know, like that level artist of like you want to be that type of artist. But let's just say hypothetically you don't get there. Who cares? There's so much other shit you can become. The label head, you could become. Yeah. There's so much to life beyond just music. And even for me, it's like I'm at the beginning. I'm launching so many things and diving into so many ventures. But for guys like, you know, for you as an artist, like you focus on artistry right now. And then eventually, like maybe 10 years from now, you're like, or even less, because these days careers don't even really last that long because of people's attention spans are so short.
It's true.
So after you make it, give it 2-3 years, peak, you make your money, and then but while you're doing that, you build all these other ventures so that when you are now not as relevant as an artist, your music lives on forever because it's quality, and now all your other business ventures continue.
Exactly, and I think that's something I'm interested in too, because like. I'm not like a super musical person in the sense that I never played an instrument. I wasn't able to learn how to like sing or like whatever. These are kind of self-taught skills that I've got from living and learning and listening to just so much fucking music. Yeah. And I was able to get there. And like the way I always operate, I feel like I'm just a storyteller. And it's like I would like to tell stories in whatever medium that I can. So that's music, that could be photography. I really love like movies and shows and writing. So one day I really want to get into writing stuff, like that kind of
like
stuff too.
Okay, so like scripts you're talking about.
Yeah, like scripts and stuff
That's
like
awesome.
that, and movies and TV shows and all kinds of stuff. I like clothes, and like I would like to be able to tell stories with clothes and like whatever. So for me, it's just like you're a storyteller, learn the mediums, tell the story. Music just happens to be the first medium.
The first medium, like, yeah. I think, you know, I think someone like, I think for you, the two mediums are like obviously through music, storytelling, so you can eventually turn that into writing scripts for movies, writing books. I don't know, like there's so many ways you can dive into that, and then the fashion part, because as an artist, you have like even these days, it's like even guys like me. I don't know, like managers, everyone's got to have image now. So it's like fashion is a huge part of all of us as creatives. Yeah. So fashion is something you can dive into, because that's also a way to become a longer lasting figure. Like fashion is what can drive your music career forward. Absolutely.
Your image is everything. I think the person that's kind of been the best at that just throughout history is obviously Kanye. Where it's like my music and my fashion are intertwined. And create my brand as bigger.
Yeah, and but both like, boost each other.
Both boost each other,
and
it's
keep
like
each other alive in a way.
It literally, and it's like, but he just loves doing that. Like he just loves fashion.
Yeah, he does it because he's passionate about it. Yeah, don't do it. I feel like for a lot of artists, like they'll do it because they need to be, keep up an image. Yeah. But I would say like if you can avoid that and do things just because you want to actually do it, then that's probably the best scenario to be in, because everything I do, even like the article side, is probably the most beneficial part of my brand, but I'm doing it because I genuinely enjoy doing it. Imagine good at writing that shit and not enjoying it.
You're good at it though too.
I appreciate that, because I feel like the reason I'm at the level I am, even though English wasn't even my first language, and I'm not that great in English, to be honest, in writing, and I'm doing writing as one of my fucking pieces of my career. It's like it's weird how things work in life, but it's like that part of it, it's like because I think I enjoy the topics I write about. It's not even the fact of writing. Yeah. Writing is just the tool, the medium. It's the people that I'm talking about that I care and I enjoy so much about, the topics, about the music, showcasing the talent and giving the spotlight, regardless of if how many people see it or not. Like just talking about it, that part of it is something that I love. Yeah. And I feel like that's something that makes me do it on a consistent level, while some other people are doing it because like, oh, I just launched a brand because I want to be famous. Like, oh, the fuck, like of course you're not gonna last forever. You know how much work goes into that shit. Like, same thing with music. A lot of people want to do it because they want to make money. Bro, music is the worst industry to be in if you want to make money.
If you want to make money, yeah.
Especially the artist end. Yeah. As if you're a fucking videographer, which is not really me, because my place, like I'm kind of more on the end of like an artist, where the way I operate is not easy. Like I can't just go and like work with anybody. Right. But if you're a guy who's just there to shoot, you can milk the fuck out of the industry. You can make so much money as a cameraman. As a manager, you can milk the fuck out of the artist. As a label, you milk the fuck out. But as an artist specifically, it is the worst industry to be in. Yeah. But the benefit is, that's what I'm saying, the reason why you shouldn't feel bad about a career only lasting 2 to 3 years, because fuck, you use the fame and the power and the voice you gain from music to go into places like you can get into acting, or you get into that, or you get into fashion. Literally. That's what you use music career for, because making money from music, some of the biggest artists in the world made probably like 10% of their income ever from music. Yeah. If even that.
I think like the wildest example of that is like T-Pain. Yeah. You ever heard about that? Where it's like T-Pain, like when I was a kid, 2008 to like 2011. Yeah. T-Pain was
he's like
that
shit.
Guy.
Bro, he's still that guy, because his shit is like his music, bro, is the influence he had. Like none of the shit would exist if it wasn't for T-Pain. He's like the auto-tune king, basically.
But it's like, yo, he talks about, he's like, I made zero money. Yeah. Zero money. Yeah. And it's like, I hear stuff like that and it saddens me. Stuff like the Yeezy stem player and stuff like that is kind of touching on these issues where it's like, why as artists are we being given the short end of the stick when we're holding the entire industry up? Exactly. And I hope that there's a revolution of some point, that we get to a point where we can get paid more fairly for what we do. Yeah. Because it's, I was talking this about Remsen, and he was saying like, it's crazy how you can go to like art gallery and a painting can cost $1,000 and you take that painting home and it's yours or whatever. And artists get paid off of that. But it's like this music that you consume every single day of your life that I made, I'm getting pennies off of it.
Yeah.
And it's the music that's going into like movies and film and stuff like that, and we're just like, we're not getting paid for it, and it's like, why not still? And it's
unfortunate. It's a crazy one, yeah, no, for sure. And I think, honestly, a lot of people in the music industry are in that position. The only people that are really eating are the big labels. That's it. Yeah. Those are the guys that are truly
and the streaming services for sure.
And the streaming service, yeah, of course. Honestly, the streaming services a lot of times they're like on verge. They're like literally break even points a lot of times.
Yeah.
Because of how much. Because like I think streaming platforms really are slaves to the industry, just like us, the creatives. I think the label heads and like the executives, the fucking guys in the suit and ties up there, are the ones that are really controlling it, because those are the guys that are really eating, because they're not doing shit. They're not doing anything except for just having a connection. Like connections are more important than the art, literally.
It's literally.
That's why I think, but for you as an artist, there's a lot of other mediums of making money, like merchandise.
Yeah.
So you have to just like use whatever you have to your disposal, because at the end of the day, you have to realize, the label head, that no one knows who the fucking guy is, while everyone knows who you are.
True.
So realize what benefit you have, that you have the power of people knowing who you are.
Yeah.
So there's ways of you winning from that.
You got to use that for sure. Yeah.
Some of the best music and the collaborations have come because there was no money involved.
Right.
So I feel like that's kind of where I realized, like, that's why you have to find ways of sustaining. That's why guys that are making, their moves where everything is about money, that's why all the videos that these videographers shoot are trash, and that's why these artists that only make music for money sounds the same over and over again, because if you do it for money, you will never innovate. You're just there to make money. Yeah. Even then, it's just pennies, realistically speaking, compared to what you can really make.
I agree with that. It's like, obviously you want to make a living as an artist because you just want to be able to make a living as an artist. Yeah. But it's like, when there's like, I think Quincy Jones said this once. He's like, when you make art, when you make music and you think about money, God walks out the room. And so if you start, whenever you start thinking about money, it's true. The soul, the integrity of it, I feel does leave. And if it doesn't leave right now, it'll leave eventually. Because eventually, If there comes a point where you're not seeing the money that you want, okay, you're not gonna make the art anymore. Yeah. Get onto a different hustle. And it's true. It's like, unfortunately, the music industry right now is such like low hanging fruit to people. I mean, it's a good and it's a bad thing. It's like, people are able to do this stuff because we have technology and YouTube.
Yes,
and
it's easier to dive into it. Yeah,
even teach you this, but it's also like, okay, people look at this as like, okay, I'm gonna make money. I'm gonna make millions and millions of dollars.
In just like overnight
instance type of shit, and it's like, really, no, bro. Like a lot of your favorite artists were broke for a very long time. A lot of your favorite artists wrote for other artists and did this and this, and they grinded and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, at the end of the day, the people that really want to do this, their longevity will show.
All right, so moving to the next question that I wanted to ask. Is your name like actually your government name, or is it like a fake alias kind of?
It is not my government name. I feel like a lot of people think that because it sounds so much like
exactly,
that.
Yeah.
But the name came from I have a sister, and she had an Instagram name. She has an Instagram name that was Maxim Addams, which is Wednesday Addams, like the Addams family. Okay. And me and her are like huge fans of the Addams family or whatever. And so this is about 2017. I was looking for a new Instagram name because my Instagram name before used to be sense.mm, and that was like my music name kind of too, when I was like kind of putting low-key tracks on SoundCloud and whatever. It was sense. And I was like, okay, I kind of want a new name, but I don't really know what to do. And so I was looking at her thing, and I'm like, that's so cool, like the Addams, whatever family. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of want to steal that. So I'm like, okay, what can I make that's
catchy, I guess.
Catchy. Yeah. And so I had this friend that I grew up with, and he was Chinese, and his English name was Sunny, and I just thought that was such a cool name. Yeah. And so I was like, you know what, Sunny Addams, and I think it works too, because like when I think about my family and like my dynamic with them too, Sunny Addams is kind of an oxymoron, because it's like sunny, right? Like sunny, happy, sunshine, whatever. Yeah. And then it's like Addams, like the Addams family, which is like this dark thing. And it's like, I feel like in my own family and in my own life and a lot of circles and stuff, I've been like the oxymoron, where it's like, I'm like, I don't know, like the smart jock, or like, you know what I mean? Or like, the artsy this person, whatever. And it's like, there's always been like dichotomies inside of myself. And like, I've always just been like multiple different things, and like even though I'm in a group that is one thing, and so I'm like I like that too, and I like that symbolism, and so I was like, Sunny Addams. I asked a couple people about it, they liked it, and I was like, you know what, Sunny Addams, let's do it, and it stuck.
No, that's dope, because I knew, because I had a very good feeling that it was not your government.
Yeah.
The reason I asked too is because a lot of people just have that one letter name or whatever the fuck, and it's like you can kind of tell it's like it's obviously not a real name.
Yeah.
But Sunny Addams, like I know a lot of people that like it seems like that's their real name, but it is made up. But at the same time, like for me, like I'm someone that, to be honest, if I were to restart, I probably would have not used my real name.
Yeah.
Because I'm like I just don't know how people are gonna fucking respond to like my to like reading my last name, like it's me. But I'm like, yeah, fuck it, it's already too late type of shit. So I'm like, it's okay. Like,
no, that's okay, man. Deal. For me though, it was like out of necessity, because I was like 16, and like I wasn't trying to tell my mom or my folks that I was doing music or doing really anything. So I was like, I need an alias. I need something to erase my digital footprint. Let me not put my real name anywhere online. And so I was like, I need this out of necessity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like later, I'm like, okay, it's cool now. Like whatever. You know?
Yeah. No, because it sounds good. Because the thing is, it's cashy. That's the one thing that I was pissed off about my thing. Yeah, it's just like not my brand and like my actual real name, like as a director, whatever. Like obviously, like everyone can call me Max or whatever the fuck. Like that's something that's easy. That's probably what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But it's just like I was always thinking, like, because there's so many other people's names, like like they read both the start and the end. And it's like, oh, this sounds so sick. But then when you read mine, it's like you clearly know I'm some fucking foreigner. I just sound like some fucking foreigner, and it's just so funny. I'm like, I wish I would have just been a little smarter and just made some fake ass fucking name that rolled off the tongue.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, it's not too late, but I mean, honestly, bro, like, names have power,
Yeah, I've already embraced it, to be honest. It's like I feel like I'm proud of my name at the end of the day anyways. It's just it was more on like the business end, but I'm like, fuck the business end, to be honest. Like, fuck the business. It's like if like I'm just not trying to really, because like the thing is, it's also just family heritage, keeping that. I'm like, fuck it.
Exactly. Names have power, man. Like, I'm not gonna say my government name on here.
Yeah, don't.
Like, I just feel like names have power, so I'm always interested in know people's real names.
It's the first thing that people see or hear of you, so it's like it's important that it catches. Of course, you can't be picky. It's like, just like you can't say like, oh, like this person's name is trash. Like, well, it's a fucking name.
Yeah, it's a name.
But so it's not like people are gonna say, it's like they won't care about me or any artist that has a weird name. It's just just easier when it's when it's dope. Just right off the bat, it just catches the eye easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Sunny Addams definitely one of those names that like it was initially catching. I'm like, yo, this guy's actual name is Sunny Addams. Like, yo, that's his parents are elite. Right? Because that name is like, it's just too crazy.
Shit, man. Like, I might pull a yay and change it, bro. You never know.
I mean, one day you could definitely change that, like, for sure. So the other thing I wanted to ask was like, what's your background and kind of like, I guess a little bit of a backstory on your childhood, like your early life before music.
Shit. My mom is from Jamaica. Mm-hmm. And my dad is from Dominica, not to be confused with the Dominican Republic. It's a different place. Dominica, they speak French. It's a French, it's a former French colony.
Is it a small island?
It's very small. Yeah, it's in the Caribbean. Yeah,
I've been to the Dominican a lot, but not Dominica.
Everybody knows the Dominican Republic, but now people know Dominica, the Commonwealth of Dominica, and he's from there. Even though he was born and raised in England, and then he came here when he was a teenager. So he's like ethnically from Dominica, but he's like English.
English, yeah.
And
that's sick.
Yeah, in my early life, like, I for as long as I've known, like, the two biggest hobbies in my life have been music and movies. Music, because my mom used to have, like, this just ridiculous CD collection of, like, old albums that she had from, like, the 90s and stuff like that. And she bought me, like, a Walkman when I was, like, 6 years old, and I used to just, like, listen to
That's
Walkmans.
That's dope.
And then, like, the first thing I remember listening to was, like, the Space Jam soundtrack, which is legendary.
Oh, yeah.
Which is super legendary if you had a chance to listen to it back. Like Josh Groban, because I think that was like popping on the radio or something. Like he was like an old, just like vocal singer, and then like Usher. Well, like I used to listen to Usher Bear, and then like I think like Tupac and like Biggie, because
those are legends.
Yeah, and then like
it's a must.
It was just music and movies. My dad used to have like a folder full of bootleg movies and like stuff like that.
Sick.
And it's cool because like. There's a lot of connection between movies and music, obviously, because the best movie scenes obviously like have certain music in them, and it's like you start to associate, like, Life is a Highway, we all know because of Cars. Like most people know because of Cars, because I didn't know that song before. You know what I mean? Like there's just certain songs and whatever, and so like this started to blend, and like just watching so much movies. Like I've watched like easily 1,000 movies in my life.
Oh yeah, same. Yeah, no, I've watched a lot.
So many, and just listen to tons and tons of different kinds of music.
It's a big part of childhood too.
Yeah, and it's just like that was my childhood. Basically, it was just music and movies, and like I played sports when I was a kid. I used to play soccer, and then I switched to like basketball, and like I did track and field, and I was like semi-successful with that stuff. But like,
it wasn't really your forte.
It wasn't really my forte. Even though I was good at it, I didn't have much love or passion for it, really.
Yeah, that's literally the same thing with me. I don't watch sports. I fucking hate sports, to be honest. if I'm really going for it, I'm athletic. I can easily join any fucking sports team and be good. Yeah. I've always been naturally good at that stuff. I just passionately wise, I feel bad for those people that have horrible physique, that love sports, that wish they had the physique of like skinny motherfuckers like me. Because like I just do not like sports, but like if I was in sports, like I would have a much easier start than like a lot of people, because I'm already like, all I have to do is just go to the gym for a month or two and I'm just built easy. But I'm just too lazy to do that.
I used to be like really into acting too. I think the first thing I ever wanted to be when I was a kid was an actor, and I used to like do drama and like do plays and stuff like that. Sick. And like I'm still really interested in acting, and definitely I'm gonna do that and explore that more and more. But yeah, like I think the beginning of like this kind of I want to do music thing started when I was like 16.
Like really taking it seriously.
Like not even really taking it seriously.
Or like actually just diving into it. Officially.
Actually just like being like, yo, I could do this shit.
Oh, okay. So before 16 you didn't do music basically
at all. I just loved music. Like I was just a music fanatic.
Like a music fan. Okay, I see that.
I was just a person that just like, I just listened to every classic hip hop album, every classic this album, whatever. I just like music.
Just a music and film connoisseur that just knew the art, but you weren't actually indulging in it. In terms of like physically yourself making art.
Yeah, I wasn't making anything like that. Like I wasn't writing raps and stuff like that when I was younger. Yeah. It was like when I was 16, and it was like two kind of things. First of all, it was Lil Uzi Vert. I remember.
That's a huge thing back then. Yeah.
He released like Lil Uzi Vert versus the World, and that was like the first time that I had heard music. I think now looking back, I'm like, wow, so fucking unique. Yeah. But the first time I heard music, and I was like, yo, I want to make music, because this shit was so wavy to me.
It was
and
so
like,
influential to you.
And like my friends liked it, the girls liked it. Like it was just
it was sick.
It was so different too. New wave, I was just like, yeah, I want to make music. And then like later that year, I had a friend. He makes music too. He goes by Rome. And he had a song that he sent me, and he was like, "Yo, here's your opinion." Because like again, like I was very knowledgeable in music. He's like, here's your opinion on this stuff, and I was like, "Yo, this is good, but let me make the chorus for this," because I'm like, I don't even know what possessed me to do that, but I was like, let me write the chorus into this. So I wrote a chorus for that song. I recorded it on my phone in the bathroom. I sent it to him. He's like, "This is sick." Wow. He uploaded it. I like posted it on my Instagram. People saw it, and they were like, "Yo, you can really sing."
That's crazy.
And I was like, damn, like I can really sing. So I'm like, from that point, the seed started being planted in me, and I started to make like other tracks. I made like a joke track with my friends, like whatever. But I was spitting, and like I just kind of like put my toe in a little bit, but I didn't fully commit.
Yeah.
And then it was like that for a couple years, where I was learning to like mix and master on my own, and like I was just making bare songs on my laptop. Like again, like 10,000 hours. Like I probably made like 60 songs on my laptop and just like never put them on, and all this kind of stuff. And there's even more just unwritten verses on stuff and blah. And I think the changing point was COVID. For me, it was like everything slowed down, and like I obviously stopped going physically to school, and I stopped going to work, and I had all this time on my hands, and I was like, damn, like life is completely just done a 180 on all of us.
It literally was like you just hit a wall.
Right.
You just hit a wall.
And it's just like the earth, I mean,
just stop moving.
It just stopped moving. And it's just like when you stop moving and you stop, the hustle and bustle of life discontinues, I realize I'm like, holy shit, I'm very unhappy. Like I'm very unhappy doing the thing that I'm doing, going to school for the thing.
Because you were literally just on autopilot. You weren't living life. You were just going through life.
Literally,
there's a big difference.
Literally, I was just going through life.
Yeah,
and like until I think very recently, I've come out of that. Yeah, I was literally just going through life, and I was like, bro, I have to change it. Yeah. Like I gotta do this, and I was like, that year I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something. I released like a song on SoundCloud.
Something, yeah.
And like not many people listened to it, but the people I showed it to really liked it, and it was really unique and like whatever. This is the time where I was singing more than I was rapping.
Yeah, but you just started, so of course not everyone listen to it.
And I was just like, you know, it is what it is. And then Bijoy Aurora, a childhood friend of mine, was like, yo, I'm starting this label at the time, and he was like, I think that you'd be great for it. And so I started working with him and like Nolan Balance and another person that I know, Nadia Al Tayeb, and we were like collaborating together, and like that's when I really started to like develop my artistry. And like it was the first time I ever was able to bounce my artist ideas off of somebody, which was a challenging experience because I never done that before, and I felt a way about certain things that they were saying, but that's because I wasn't mature enough, and I wasn't ready to let that stuff go. And it's like when it's like you get critiqued for it, but that's what you do when you put out you put out your art to get critiqued. Exactly. And it's like I wasn't prepared for that, but they really helped me like understand that it's like, here's how you take criticism, here's how you put in your own input into things, here's how you stick to your vision. And like throughout the year we were just working together, whatever, and then I released Soulja, and then from there
which is a fucking crazy song. You better listen to that shit. I'm pretty sure. Wait, is this no I think the other track, Bed-Stuy, or how do you pronounce that song?
Bed-Stuy, it's Bed-Stuy. Yeah. That
song's still on the playlist that I have. Is fucking I'm pretty sure that's my favorite song, but Soulja is a close second. That song is like definitely highlight tracks that like are like incredible art pieces of work.
That was the first song I made with Esso, and that was the first time we ever met.
Shout outs to Esso.
Shout out to Esso,
close. Man. Like he's probably the only one that I could call like real close.
Yeah, like
I talk to him almost every day.
Yeah, Esso's actually like a real friend. Like you know, it's people you know in the industry and like whatever. But like Esso's like a person that's like, I trust you. Me and him talk life. You know.
Me too. Yeah. No. Like every day almost. Yeah.
And it's like, he obviously has been super important. Also, for helping me develop my artist voice and the confidence. But like to make that song the first time us linking was like, I was like, dang. Yeah, it's crazy. And I remember making it one day. It was like maybe like 3 hours, and that was it. And then I think from there, like we started to develop the early Sunny Addams sound, and starting to come into more. And we started to experiment with stuff and like blah 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 blah, and it just grew from there. And like even though I don't work with like Aurora anymore, it's like there was a big part of me growing up and like and whatever. And like now I can feel like I've lived life and like I've went through certain things, and I'm able to like be confident about my artistry, like whatever. So like that's why I'm super excited to share the new music, because it's like the new music is it's more, it's focused. It's like I know what I want to say. It's more personal.
You know exactly what you're looking for.
I know how I want to sound, because I feel like that was something that
feel everything's there.
I was really struggling with at the beginning, like even before Soulja, was like how do I want to sound? What's the tone I'm using here? Blah, blah, blah,
I see that.
All these types of stuff, and it's like, again, behind the scenes, I was able to figure out those 10,000 hours, and then like now I come out and it's like, that's good. Oh, this guy's sick. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, shout outs to Aurora and to Nolan and all the guys that helped you at the beginning, because we wouldn't have the Sunny we have right now if it wasn't for them and your commitment too. Because shit, like that's always gotta give flowers to even the people that like, yo, just the fact that you went through with the thing is something that very few people can say they've done. Like very few people can say they've done, because a lot of people don't even give the chance to even try. They just fail out, like they fail before they even start. And it's like see, you put up your all and look where you are now. You know, it's like you're already in a position where like now your music's good, you're confident in it to the point of like that it's not only good but you're confident. Now the next step is to just push Sunny to, you know, the brand Sunny, not the music Sunny, the brand Sunny, the image Sunny to the next level.
That's what I really am trying to do.
I think that's the next step that you have to continue working on. You already got it, the feel going. Now it's time to just level it up to the point now where not just us, the community, can fuck with it, but now where new people that stumble upon you can maybe find you through your clothing drop, or find you through a picture you took with this clothing brand or some shit. Like that's kind of like the way you just put yourself out there. Now that's gonna be, and I think shows too is gonna be a huge thing, just like the way you perform, because that's huge.
I think I'm really excited to keep performing and keep doing shows, because I feel like it's surprising, because I thought that would be something that I would definitely be scared of doing, because I had stage fright as a kid and stuff.
I think I still do, and it's like you know, it's like I've been on stage myself. It's like, yo, it's just one of those things. The only time you get over is when you're already on stage doing your performance. You get over it.
Literally, you know, like
you have to be there.
when I did the Battle of the Raps for a 6Z in November, it was like I got on the stage for the first time to do even just like practice run, and I was like, I'm nervous, like fuck, I'm nervous.
Yeah.
And it's like, but then you hear the first song, and it's just like, I'm doing this now.
Yeah,
like, I'm just doing this now.
Like, this is my time to shine.
Yeah.
And instead of you being scared, now it's like the adrenaline, like, yo, I'm excited now. You know?
Yeah,
like,
and now I'm excited. I'm like, okay, I want to know how this sounds perform like this and like whatever.
I want to see people's reactions. I want them to feel my energy.
Exactly. You know? And like
That's
later on too, like right now I feel like I'm working on like it's like my staging, my personal staging, like whatever my cadence, my tone,
cadence, your
how
tone,
I interact with the audience, whatever. But when like stuff gets bigger,
but over time,
over time, like I'm thinking sets, I'm thinking like mixes, the way the music cuts out, and like whatever, and all these kind of things, and like that's what I'm really excited to do.
Which is stuff that I'm trying to kind of like already bring, like by the summertime with that festival idea, like, right? Because the place we're renting has the audio control room, the video control. Like, there's just gonna be something incredible, and then maybe by the following year we can already get to the point where like now it's not just the artist, now we get dancers to go with the artist.
Exactly.
Just next level show ideas.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, no, there's definitely a lot on that aspect of it. But you know, I think over time, like I think you will definitely, because shows, of course, is a very important part of artists. So I know you're gonna eventually become one of those like sought after artists performance wise. Like I think you will one day become, because I think like with your music style, I feel like there's definitely a lot of room for you to really be excited for the performances more than even just releasing it.
Yeah.
Performing it live is something that I think is a lot of artists want to do, but a lot, just doesn't fully translate. I think with your music, it will translate beautifully.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I think performance is a lost art. I think a lot of artists now are they just do it to make money. They just stand on stage and then they recite the song.
Literally, yeah. There's no energy. There's no interaction. Nothing.
Right. And I know this person's in kind of heat right now, but like Travis Scott is obviously like the modern day, I think, of creating a performance, and even Tyler, the Creator as well.
Yeah.
Creating a performance where it's like, no, I'm performing. This is different than me showing you music on stage. Like, this is performing. This is an experience.
Because I can just listen to it at home.
Right.
Shit,
This is an experience that you have. Like, this is experience.
It's experience. Literally an experience. Like, just hearing the fucking song being played on live speakers and just seeing the guy who made it lip sync the shit into a microphone.
Yeah, it's not
an experience. You'll forget that you were even there tomorrow. Like, but with the experience that you would want to bring as an artist, like the real experience, like shit, you want people to think about, like, oh fuck, I remember Sunny Addams 3 years ago at this festival. Shit was incredible. Like it's like a night that I'm still remembering. Like I'm fondly. Like that's something that like you created a spot in that person's head is taken up by your performance. Like that's literally like there's nothing better than that. There's nothing better than that. That's crazy.
That's what I strive for, man.
Because memories is like what keeps humans. It's like being able to be something, being a memory in someone's head. Like they reminisce when they think about it. That's something powerful.
Absolutely.
So I think with shows, that's where you as an artist, you truly can. Obviously, with music, you can do it in general, but shows are where you can start at a much smaller level without having a big fan base yet. So I think shows is definitely crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I guess just to wrap it up, the one thing I wanted to kind of say in general, just to wrap up whatever, because obviously we said about like being on stage and like having like the stage fright and stuff.
Yeah.
A big thing is obviously building your confidence outside of the stage is very important, right? Because everyone's gonna get the like the butterfly feeling before they go on stage, but it's like the people that are confident are gonna get over it the moment they start performing. But then there's people that won't because they're just not confident, and it's like I've struggled with being like I was introverted in school. That's why like there's a big reason why I don't have such a big following from school like I would have if I was more open.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think that I used to hate even the thought of like it's crazy. The things that I hated the most in school are things I do now.
You do now, yeah.
Like literally, like writing, and to think that I would want to stand on stage and to talk in front of hundreds of people, and talk to them, and even just make videos where thousands of people would have seen my face is crazy. The complete opposite. But it's like that's kind of how things work. I don't know. It's weird, bro.
It's crazy, man. Like, I'm better at this now, but like I still get it. I get a lot of social anxiety when I go out to places, and like for a long time, like it was hard to be sober when you're going out and thinking with people. But like I don't want to have to rely on something, a substance, to make me social, whatever.
Yeah.
But like it is crazy because it's like, yo, I used to like go up at like, I don't know, an assembly or something like that, and I would just be like sweating.
Yeah, just,
you know what I mean?
Just going like in your head, you're just fucking like just going crazy. Just
yeah,
like, fuck,
and it's like, but now this is the thing that I have to do for a living, which I mean, it's funny, but then it's also like it's a beautiful thing because
you realize like the reason why you're not as afraid anymore is because you're delivering you. You're not delivering some shit that was told.
Exactly. It's not a difference. It's not a mask. It's not like it's not a thing. But even so, like it's fun. Like it's fun to who I am, obviously, like on a regular basis, and Sunny Addams are two different people. Yeah. But it's like, but it's fun to be Sunny Addams because that's my creation.
Yeah.
Like that's not something that people boxed me into. Like, or people said that's like, you know, this is your archetype. Told me I had
to do this.
Right. It's like, it's not like your archetype, or like people are like, well, no, you're the jock. No, well, no, you're the smart kid. And it's like, no, I got to create this for myself. It's me. Which means I get to be whatever I want to be. So when I get up on that stage, when I get up in the booth, it's like, I am who I want to be. It's like, it's my creation.
It's like you can't, like, why would you be, like, you can't be afraid of being you, because anyone that's afraid of being themselves, it's like you're just like it's like the fright of the judgment. That's it. Which I just learned to just throw a fucking thing in the trash.
Throw that shit in the trash, man.
Bro, because I'm seeing like, yo, the people that are succeeding, they get laughed at. I'm like, yo, I want to get laughed at because that means I'm making money and I'm succeeding with what I want to do. So if I'm not getting laughed at, then I'm doing something wrong.
The
you know,
the thing that I follow the most as an artist is the best way to serve your audience is to ignore them, which is a quote by Rick Rubin. And I think that quote has helped me just be a better artist, because it's like I used to care so much about what people think, and like
everything.
I used to have such little confidence in myself, and like through the past couple years, and especially recently, it's like I've grown to be like, nah, bro, like you got to be unapologetically yourself, because if you're not, then you're gonna resent people for making you or feel who you're really not, you know what I mean. And you're just like,
so you can't be mad at them because they influence that, but at the same time the final decision is still yours.
It's still mine. And it's like now I'm like, I'm unapologetically myself. If you don't like me, it's like life goes on, bro, because 7 billion people in the world, you guys are not all gonna fuck with me. Like,
exactly, that's the one thing people don't realize. Like, of course, it's don't ever make enemies, because for me there's people like, yo, if like there's a lot of business associates that, you know, they're like that I just basically say goodbye to. I'm like, okay, I wish you guys the best. If I see you guys do big things, I'm gonna always support you, but like, you know, the door is closed type of thing, you know. It's like, but there's no hard feelings ever, no disrespectful kind of like things. Like if you end it that way, it's beautiful. But if it's more of like, it's important that you never escalate anything crazy, you know, and that's kind of what's important. So in a way, it's like you don't, like, who cares who, you know, like how many people are actually your friends, as long as they don't have any grudge against you, and it's like when they talk about you behind your back, it's good stuff. Even if they don't talk to you on a daily basis, that's all that matters. And that's basically me. Like I don't talk to really anybody. I think Esso, you know, even Jet, I haven't really been speaking with him too much lately. But it's like there's basically really, I think Esso and like maybe like a handful of other people, like mostly family actually, I speak to on a regular basis. But even then, it's like I'm just so focused on business. But just because I don't talk to the people doesn't mean they don't, you know, we don't fuck with each other.
Yeah, so it's just like, they don't matter to you. Yeah,
like it's just not at the moment.
Yeah, I was talking this about Remsen, and he was saying like it's crazy how you can go to like an art gallery and a painting can cost $1,000, and you take that painting home and it's yours or whatever, and artists get paid off of that. But it's like this music that you consume every single day of your life that I made, I'm getting pennies off of it.